Hello all, welcome back. Today we are at ADAX implementation. So far we have covered the docs framework and postbot capabilities in a subjective way. Now in this session we are going to apply ADAX feature using the postbot GenAI Assistant. Okay, without further delay, let's move on. So we have a Postman the collection that is in the request suite format, and this is the book library reference that I have taken from the Postman public API repository, and predominantly it contains the get books. So I have organized in this way in the collection, which I have shared earlier as well. I'm going to share in this program as well. Okay, so we have this one, and from the create books, add books. So this is the post call that we have, and manage books. This is also a delete and modify the particular library. Okay, so in this implementation session we are going to see two variants. One is the get, second one is the post one. In the guest one, I am going to walk through on a book by ID how the document is generation for this particular endpoint call, and get all books also we are going to see this one. Okay, so let's move on to the Postman and see how we can leverage the postbot to generate the docs in a fraction of a second. Okay, I am switching over to the Postman. So here we are at the Postman collection. I have already copied the Postman library API collection, and I have organized into the specific folder. One is the books, under which we have a get books. The get books, the calls related to get different various scenarios we have in the real world. Also, we have to organize in this way based on the functionality of this particular API, so that it is very easy to run this particular collection in order to see that particular feature is working fine, working as per expected or not. So that way we have to organize in a systematic way, so that it will be easy to maintain and easy to track and easy to conduct the maintenance whenever we have changes in the particular endpoints. Okay, let's move on to the document. Suppose we have the here, and here you can see this is the request context aware, right? This window we have to open. Okay, so if you see here in the by default, if you go over here, okay, and you will see the on the collection, you will see the this one under overview tab, you will see the view documentation. Initially it doesn't have any description. Postbot cannot write any description to over here, and we need to manually enter the content over here. Okay, once you click on this one, this is the default documentation. See, this is the books folder, get books folder, another one, and this is the endpoint that we have used. Okay, by ID. Okay, we have a books, and we are querying that one using this ID. Okay, so the books is the endpoint we have, and this is the base URL we have, and ID is the path parameter we are querying this particular book. Okay, so for example, like that, whatever under get books, it is listed over here. Even for get all books also, it is listed here. Okay, this is the default documentation. It doesn't have anything. If you can see, only just path parameter is mentioned, and just a description is mentioned, but we want remaining all the details as well. Okay, what we'll do is I'll just delete this one, so that it will be available. Okay, now it doesn't have anything, only just basic information it is available. That is base URL and endpoint and query path parameter is available, nothing else it is there. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to generate a document for this endpoint. So I'm going to this one. Okay, now I am on the request window. What I'm doing is, here in the right side you can see the documentation. Okay, so now the documentation is open. So this particular request and documentation will be learned by this particular postbot when you launch this one. This is called context aware. In any of the GenAI assistant, based on their the architecture, the assistant will be bound to that particular context aware. Okay, first you take any tool. Okay, if they introduced GenAI assistant means, so you need to understand what is the context it is. It is the entire window or particular script or particular window or browser like that. You have to know well before you starting play with that GenAI assistant. So now we have here. So here we have a add description, generate with a postbot or add documentation. Okay. For this one, let's go with this particular default command which I have mentioned in the one of the slides we have in this one of the sessions as well. Okay. What I will do is generate with the postbot. Okay. Let's see what it will generate. So it is working. See here. So if you see here, so get book by ID, it is generated. Okay. Specific book. Okay. So now it will go to the, you can go here and see the documentation. So it has given the description and the JSON body, what it is going to respond. It has given the endpoint retrieves the details of the specific book identified by the unique ID, and the response of this request is documented on the below as a JSON schema. So like this, the JSON schema it has listed. Okay, now this is not sufficient because the basic document it has given, but we need to generate the additional sections as well using the GenAI assistant. How we can do it? Now again I'm going back to this one. Okay, and again I'm switching over to the documentation. Whatever earlier it is listed, it is there. Now I'm giving the one user prompt. So what is that user prompt? I'm just giving you, I have already pre-recorded. So for example, this one, add request header details to the docs. Header details, request header details I want. So request header details to docs. So you need to ensure the keywords like add and docs in this one so that it can easily identify and it will mention the details. See here. So here it has given the request. Okay, the method it has given and URL it has given and headers it has given. Okay, and then the response, the details also it has given apart from this one. Earlier it was not there. Okay, if you go over here and see the view the complete information, I mean the documentation, you can see this particular section. Okay, so retrieve book details at request. So you can change these sections based on your flow. Okay, there is a systematic flow. Always you start with request and header details and additional details about the request, and then the response details. I'll show you that you can change it. Okay, again I'm going back. So now I am here. Okay, I'll enter one more prompt, that is add authentication details to the docs. Okay, add authentication because it doesn't have any authentication details mentioned, so we have to. See here. Let's see. So somewhere it might have listed. So here in the authorization, here it has mentioned. Okay, one second. Let us go. View complete documentation, and here has not given that information. Only it has mentioned the request headers. That's why it has not given any information. And let's move on to here. Another one. So the prompt is like error codes. Add error code details to the docs I am giving. Okay. Because earlier it was not there. Okay, let me go here and error code details means every endpoint have based on that particular endpoint architecture, it has the error codes are error codes are defined for that one. Okay, if you see here, see here, see here it is listed 2000 200 okay and 400 bad request, 401 unauthorized, and 404 not found, and 500. These are the the error codes are configured for this particular endpoint, and these are the general codes that each endpoint will have. Okay, so the endpoint retrieves the details of the specific book identified by the this is the error codes that is mentioned here. For example, if you go here again, I'm going to the view documentation. See this one. Okay, where is that one? Yeah, here, this one. The endpoint retrieves the details of the specific book, identify the this one. These are the 5 codes it has mentioned. Okay, error codes. What is the prompt we have given? If you go over here, the prompt that we have given is add error codes details to the docs. So this is the getting the book by the specific path ID. Okay, I'll write one more the prompt that is about adding the examples. Let's see whether it is adding or not. Since it is a path parameter, we have to give the details. Add path parameter examples to these docs. See here, let's see. If it is already it is there, then it will not give any example. See here, earlier it was not there. So path parameters ID string required the unique identifier of the book. And let me see. So because the response already, the example schema it has given, that's why it has not added. Okay. So it doesn't have anything. So this is the the typical the doc structure. It has included the description and the request details, what is the parameter, what is the URL, headers, path parameters, and the response schema, how it is look like, it has mentioned. Okay, and then the error codes. So these are the things it has added in this one. Okay, so this is about the get the book by ID in the endpoint that we have added. Now we'll add some more details to the get all books. Okay, So if you see here in this particular documentation, it has nothing is okay. I'll just delete this one. Okay, only the books, and this is it doesn't have anything, and only query parameters. What are the query parameters? This particular the books endpoint will support, it has mentioned. Okay, so now what I will do is I launch the postbot. So here, because it doesn't have anything to do, here also it has mentioned the generate with postbot, and here also it is mentioned the add documentation. These are the command, direct command it has mentioned. So what I will do is, in this particular endpoint, I will use add documentation feature. This is the basic command they have given, and it has generates the description. See here, what I will do is I'll show you in the expand view. See here, request. What is the request? Get, and what is, sorry, okay, you need to scroll to get books, get all books section, that API. So this is the one. See, it has given the description so and so. The response will be a JSON object representing an array of book objects so and so. Okay, and query parameters. And we wanted to have additional details as well. Let's see. So we'll go to here. Same thing. We'll apply the prompts, user prompts. So I'll just give the add details about request headers. Add request docs. Okay. So we have given in the this one in the English format, natural language format. So it has added request header. What is this one? Request header. This is the one. If you go here, and I'll go to the this one. View complete documentation. See here. So request headers, content type, so and so. Okay. It has added the request headers. Now response headers we'll see. Get all books. I will go to the documentation. So always be on that context window on this one. Add header, response header details to docs. If it has anything, then it will add. Okay. Let's see if it is added or not. See, content type response also application JSON. Okay, it has added. So now add authentication details to docs. Okay, single prompt for each request. We are giving the single prompt. Okay, so here it has mentioned authentication. So authorization bearer token, so and so authorization token, it has given the that information. Authorization details it has given in the request headers. Okay, now there is another one. Okay, get all books, error code details. Okay, we'll see. We'll ask we'll ask assistant to generate it in the tabular format. Add error code details to docs in the tabular format. So what it does is it will generate the error codes in the tabular format. Okay, if you go here, see here it has written with the description. Okay, what I will do is I will go over here and see get all books error codes in the tabular format he has given. So again you don't need to put any effort to the description in the tabular format. Directly you can give the command. Okay, server error, bad request 401 and 403 and 404. These are the typical error codes that each endpoint will have. Okay, in the they configured in their API design. Okay, so this is about the generating the error codes. There is one more command. Let's see examples, how it will give the examples. So I'll go over here. Okay, I am on documentation. Okay, so what I will do is, hey, add examples to these docs. Okay, books add, let's see, books call examples to these docs. Okay, let's see. See here the examples. One, retrieve all books, retrieve books with filters, it has given. Okay, so let me see, we'll see it in the entire this documentation. See here, see retrieve all books, plain text. This is the curl command they have given. So if at all if you wanted to execute it from the shell script or shell command or command window, command prompt, you have to use the curl. Okay, command line URL, that is curl means. Okay, so now we have the URL and books endpoint along with the header parameters. Okay, and then retrieve books with filters also. So you can apply the filters also that it has given. Okay, what are the query parameters it has given that one. Okay, this is the generating the examples. So now if you see here, we have met all the things. So in the previous session I have mentioned about the doc structure, right? Here in this one, if you see here, so the request, we have request info, headers, authentication, parameters, body, and then the headers, body, codes, examples. These are the things that we have included. Okay, and here in the additional info, so this is the additional info that you have to manually add, based on your endpoint, and you can add it so that it will be reside in the documentation along with these details. This you have to add it manually. Okay, yeah, I have written some enhancements. Let's see whether they will accept it or not. So that's about the get call. Okay, so that's about the get call, how we can generate the documentation using the user prompts. Okay, we have added the description, request headers, and error codes, and response headers, response schema, response examples we have added. Okay, now let's move on to the post call. How the post call will be having the documentation. Okay, now I'm going to the post call. Yeah, so this is the post call that, and it will add this is the body it has. Okay, it will add the documentation to the user. Okay, and the documentation to the library. Okay, let's move on to the this request. So here the basic documentation we have add docs to a library and so on. So I'm just removing this one. Okay, in the earlier we have seen the one by one. Suppose we have a 10 requests are there every time, adding those 10 requests, 10 prompts, it kind of cumbersome. So what we have to do is, so since it is a GenAI assistant, you can process any kind of the content, and we have to mention in a systematic way user prompts at one, so that it will process and generates the docs. Okay, I have written the prompt to generate the docs in one go. So this is the prompt. So in this one I'm launching the postbot. Okay, I'm not generating through one by one, I'm just directly giving the prompt. Okay, so add docs for this endpoint that includes the below sessions, the below sections that I have given over here. Okay, see here, let's see whether it will generate it or not. See here, in one go it has generated. So always whenever you are working with GenAI assistants, you have to craft prompts in a nice way. Clear details you need to give, so that clear output you will get it. That is the art of working with GenAI assistants. Okay, so let's see. Let me move on to the bigger view so that you can easily understand. See here. See. So in this one, add docs, I'm going. Sorry. See, get all books. Earlier it doesn't have anything. Retrieve books, the description it has given. And request headers, what are those it has given. And error codes it has given. Okay, the response, how the response will look like, the schema it has given. And retrieve all books. Okay, sorry, not this one. This is the get all books. Okay, I have to go to the, sorry, this one. Yeah, this one. See here, add books to the, so this is the post, right? Add books to the library added by users and deleted from the library to all others. So on side it has given the request body, what it contains it has given, request headers, what it has contained. Okay, and authentication. Okay, it has given that again, the endpoint requests authentication using an access token in the authentication header. And then the response body, how it will look like, the response, and the response headers. Okay, and response codes it has given. Okay, what are the response codes it has. Okay, and then the body, already the body it is here, so it has not mentioned anything. Okay, so these are the information it has included, the key information it has included. One is the description, and second one is the request body details, and the request header details information it has given, and the authorization details it has given. Okay, and the response body it will, how it will look like, and the response headers it has given, the response codes it has given. Okay, so in this one, so let me give overview on this one, how the prompt I have given. Endpoint along with the method, and endpoint parameters, and required optional, and this one, and because it doesn't have any parameters, so it has not mentioned anything. And the books and authentication requirements also it has mentioned, and the request body it has given, and the response headers, the response body, and response codes and endpoint along with the description tabular format it has mentioned. So this is the, at a one go you have to give, and so that it will generate API docs for that particular request. Okay, so this is how we can the generates the API documentation for the request. Earlier the process is like, you have to understand the API specification document and manually you need to write. Okay, so this is the details. Okay, we have, so far we have created for the 2 get calls and 1 the post call, the documentation. Okay, so manually you have to include the additional details based on your requirement. So when coming to the format side, manually you have to do it. Suppose you have to be in the this one, and suppose you wanted to add something here. Okay, you have to, and this one variables, suppose variables. Okay, and then validations. For example, you wanted to add some picture over here, you can go here and you can add you can browse to the particular picture and you can add it. Okay, or else you wanted to add it to this some video, you can give the video URL. So if you have access to the, if you are in the corporate environment, and if you have access to the public URLs, you can access it, or else you are within SharePoint URL, you can give it. Okay, so this one, and just any links you wanted to add it. So any kind of documentation related stuff they have given, the formatting and everything they have given. So these are the bulleted points and ordered list they have given, and the table. These are the existing Postman documentation features. Okay, for this we have to do it manually for documenting the sections. Okay, and once everything is done, okay, and if at all if you wanted to put some kind of the code blocks, you can also put that one. Okay, so that you can add the code. Okay, so like pm dot response, okay, equal to json json dot data, some kind of code I have given. Okay, so I have given this one, and then so it is included. Now what I have to do is, as I told you in the last is publish. This published feature, since it is I am in the public domain, I cannot publish this particular document. But if you are in the corporate environment and you wanted to share this document to the other stakeholders or other partners, there is a way that Postman has given. So if you go over here, and here you have the option called publish. Okay, you have to click on publish, and you will be land on the browser. Again, because I am on the this one, let me this one. So it is navigating to the browser version, and then open the document version. Okay, let me open it from here, and then from here I will do, yeah. So it has to open because since I'm on the public domain and doesn't have much privileges, that's why it has opened. It has opened from the browser version. You have to open your Postman from the browser, and you can see the documentation, and it has landed on the configuration. This is the configuration part that based on our requirement we have to uh, this one, and then you have to give the content information bar here, okay, and then URL, which URL you want, all those details, okay. Within, if you are residing within the corporate firewall, you have to give the specific URL, and it will automatically publish it if you know make a, if you click on the publisher, okay. Appearance also it has given the one column or two column it will. So for now I am not going to publish this particular documentation, but you can do it at your end in your, if you are sitting in the corporate firewall, okay, if you have access to this particular the feature, okay. But I can show you preview documentation how it will look like. See here, so the get books, get by ID, so this is the documentation it has generated, and if you have any examples it will be listed over here, okay. And then the next is the examples. If you have anything, this particular has one example, that's why it has shown here example request, okay. And so this is the one, the document how it will look like. So add books also we have to see, for which we have created the documentation here, the example request, how the post request it is there. This is the books example only, this one, add books, this one, okay. Add book example request, this one, this is the books, and this is the body we are giving, that is the example it has shown here. And so this is how it will look like, and run in the Postman. If you do, it will run. So let me see here, it is not working for me, okay. But if you have a full-fledged of permissions, it will be able to run this one. So this is how you can publish the document to your team or stakeholders, your the partners or stakeholders, or if you are sharing this particular collection or duplicating, this document is available, okay. So that's all I have in the implementation session. This is the document that I have, okay. I have generated the post and two get request, okay. So that's all I have in the generation of the API documentation, and I'll catch you in the next session. Thank you.